Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you're just joining us, this is a special edition of Our Issues Milwaukee. We're on location at the Milwaukee Public Museum in downtown Milwaukee. And our next guests are here to tell us about the many educational programs that are here at the Milwaukee Public Museum. Art Montgomery is the Educational Programs Manager, and Dawn Koceja is the Multicultural Education Coordinator. How are you?
Great.
Great, thank you so much.
So glad to have you both here. And I feel like I've already learned so much in talking to everyone about the things going on here. And now we're at the educational components that are specifically set in place for people to walk away with a little more than what they knew when they got here, right?
Yes. Yes.
So if you would, Art, give us an idea of the range of programs that you have here.
Well, I think as we've learned, the Milwaukee Public Museum, it can be a challenge because we cover so much different type of material, from cultural to the natural history, the sciences. But therein lies the fun when you work here, and you get to work with a lot of the guests who come to our building. So we're tasked with trying to cover all those different areas. So we will do so through a lot of our standard types of programs, school groups, tour groups, scout groups. We have mixed families, museum storytelling. We'll work with couples on evening events. We have overnights. So we really try to cover a wide variety of types of programming, but the real key to all of those, what ties them all together, is the idea of creating experiences. Because people roll into the museum and they see all of this, and then inspires something within them, and we try to tap into that.
And it's not hard to really tap into it because the visuals are so powerful.
Yeah, more than often we have to stay out of the way. We want to facilitate but not get in the way of the experience. We just want to help that experience.
So you do provide field trips, of course,
yes.
And with those comes a lot of discounts that are available to the visitors here.
Yes, we feel it's really important for the Milwaukee Public Museum and our job to try to make it as accessible as we can to people. So there are programs all through. We have the free field trips, which occur for all Milwaukee County residents, school groups, and that comes all September, October, and November. So any school in Milwaukee County can come to the museum and take part in the experiences here. We also have a fossil fuel fund, which helps to underwrite the expenses for schools that would need support in coming here. Now, that's not need-based, because schools or districts around southeastern Wisconsin are all struggling with that need, so we try to provide that opportunity for them as well. We have free programming that occurs here with our archaeology fair, which is exploring all the different fields of archaeology and providing experiences for members as they arrive to have that program experience. And I wanted to mention our experts in the exhibits, as well as our docents who take part in our live events as well. And these are all designed to provide those opportunities, but we provide those experiences through the free field trips, the fossil fuel fund, as well as providing grants to help support a lot of schools and groups to come here as well.
Yeah, and when you think of schools, of course, you think of the teachers and the educators that come along with that, and you guys have an educator's pass where they too can take advantage of all of the different things whenever it's convenient for them.
Yes, the Educator Hall Pass, all teachers and homeschool parents who are part of teaching their children are invited to a free membership to the museum, individual membership, but we also give them direct access to our staff as well to work with our department on the curriculum and professional side as well.
I love that. And so, Dawn, you have a free program that's specifically set up for caregivers and their loved ones, with those who are beginning to deal with the beginning stages and the mid stages of Alzheimer's disease. And I think that is so awesome that someone thought to even go that far with programming.
Right. The initiative started at MoMA in New York City. MoMA and the Met actually started the concept program. And then the Helen Bader Foundation here in Milwaukee saw that program growing and how successful it was, and decided that they wanted to bring it home to Milwaukee. So in 2009, they set out requests for proposals to all Wisconsin museums, asking if people would be interested in looking at creating a program specific for this audience, and that's when we started.
So give us an idea of how that program is set up, because obviously you're dealing with individuals who are sometimes forgetting some of the things that they've retained for all of their lives. And how does the museum tap into that whole thought process? Yeah.
Well, with dementia, it kind of goes on a timeline. So they might not remember 10 minutes ago, but they remember 20 to 30 years ago. And the SPARC program, one thing about it is that it's not a reminiscence program. We never ask, do you remember? Because that's not what we want to create. We want to create an experience for them and their loved ones to come and experience a day out together without the pressures of being asked to remember things. So it's all about living in the moment. So if you look around our exhibits, most of our exhibits people haven't had experiences with. How many people have been on an African safari? How many people have went to a Guatemalan marketplace? So those are experiences that we can look at that don't have any expectations.
Yeah.
So they come in with their caregiver, and like you said, it's staged early to mid stages. And we have a nice social time where the families can get together and be surrounded by their peers so they all are comfortable and get to know each other, and have some coffee or tea together, and then we come up to an exhibit space. And then I have chairs set up, and we just talk about what we're seeing for that day.
I love that.
And, yeah, it's quite
And what's really special is that the staff here at the museum, you're trained to deal with individuals who are living with that whole scenario.
Yes. Part of the original grant from the Helen Bader Foundation was for me to go to New York and be trained with the folks at MoMA and the Met. And so I spent several days side by side with them watching how they did it. And then we also had pretty specific training from the Alzheimer's Association and professors from different universities. So as facilitators, we had quite an extensive amount of training. And then we brought that training to the Milwaukee Public Museum and did an all-staff-wide training.
Okay.
And so what I wanted to make sure was that the environment was safe and respectful to the families coming. So all of our visitor assistants, our security guards, everybody in the building has been trained on dementia, what's happening to the brain, what's happening to the people and their caregivers, and provide an opportunity that if someone does wander off and get separated from the group, that the first person they're going to have a contact with is going to be empathetic to what they're going through.
Gotcha. And this new exhibit, Crossroads of Civilizations, it's specifically set up to accommodate visitors who have special needs, and I think there are many people who would love to know more about that as well.
Yeah, so what the SPARC program has taught us is that doing programs for people of all abilities and disabilities, there are certain accommodations that need to be met. So we look at flooring and lighting and sounds and kind of look at the museum in a different lens per se. So when we started the Crossroads exhibit, the exhibits team talked with me at quite length and wanted to make sure that we have accommodations available to offer. So if a group is coming, if a family's coming and they have a guest with them who's blind, there's going to be touch objects that they can check out. There's going to be maps done in Braille, some of those kind of things. And so we just approach our new exhibits and then any of our remodels with that in mind.
Okay.
We want to make sure that our museum is accessible.
Yeah, I think that's great to know.
And I want to add a real important point, which is a lot of our interpretive carts and our educators who work with the guests and the visitors on the floor as well during their visits here have also go back to redo how they approach their engagement as well, to factor a lot of that training into it.
Wow, it's all good stuff to know, and I thank you both for coming by and giving us some insight on that particular aspect of what's going on here. And I would invite our viewers to go to your website at mpm.edu. And of course, that is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I do thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again next week as we take yet another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.